Hello, here's less than 5 minutes. I'm going to do my whole process. First, you put down the beeswax. I put resin and beeswax in my crock pot, get it heated up, simply brush it on with a natural bristle brush. Put a couple layers on there just to make sure I got enough for another panel behind showing. Then I heat the wax with a torch. The fire from the torch just melts the wax to a smooth surface. It's self-leveling. This helps a little bit. Then I take these scrapers. These help me to get it a little bit smoother, get some of the imperfections out of the way. And then I take the one that has the teeth on it. I'm going to show here in just a second. This helps the paper, the ink, bite into the wax, I guess. I don't know how to explain it any better. I don't scrape into it too hard, just enough to give it a little texture. And after it's got some texture, I take newsprint, just some real cheap thin paper, and put down it's got my drawing on it. And I cut out the negative areas, just leaving the areas that I want to transfer. This gives me a visual image of what it's going to look like. And then it also gives me my template for cutting out each individual piece. And this is time consuming. I cut a piece off of my stencil there basically and pick out my colors, cut it out, put it face down onto the bed of beeswax. Very time consuming. After I lay it down, I've got that wooden block there, and that wooden block's what I use to burnish the paper into the wax. Rub it in pretty hard. And after I've got it all down, grab some 220 sandpaper and sand away, removing the gloss, the ink from the back side of the paper. This will allow the paper to absorb the water I'm going to wet it with here in a second. And after using that sandpaper for a while, it'll start getting wax on it basically, and it becomes useless. So I have to pick out the areas that don't have wax on them to still get good sand. Otherwise I'm just spreading it on top of the paper that's already there. So I wet the back after I've got that back side roughed up, and you can already see that the color is showing through. And I just patiently, gently rub the paper. As I keep doing this, more and more the color starts showing through. Do this for a long time. You gotta be careful. You don't want to rub too hard because it's easy to rub away the ink. And the longer I go, the harder I can rub on it. It's almost like I'm after the wax is set for a while. Then I get to the point where I can wet a cotton rag or a t-shirt, and I can rub just a little bit harder, still being careful. I've learned after a while how hard I can push it. And this is basically just buffing that surface, giving it a little bit of a shine and getting rid of the residue of the paper. This is my tool that I use to scrape away the dirty wax. It's a wire tool, wire scraper. Potters use it. Once you remove all the wax, you can see the background's nice and clean. On this one, this one has a canvas background. I hit it with a heat gun. Basically, the heat gun is setting or fusing the wax and the ink together. This just keeps it on there. It makes it a little tougher. And you gotta be careful here. You don't want to heat it too much, or your ink will start to move around on you, which sometimes is pretty cool. Once it's all fused together, it's still got a nice pretty shine. And I just take in, to keep that shine of the vibrant colors, I use a wax sealer I found off the internet. It's about $8 for that little jar. It'll last for a while. Just brush it on like you would any sealer or varnish. It gives a little protection, keeps the colors vibrant, and gives it a gloss. And you can see the finished piece. A little bit, color's off a little bit, but here's some of my other paintings. Hope you enjoyed. That's as fast as I could do it. I guess I could cut it down a little bit, but I sped it up. I tried to talk fast. I hope you got enough information to enjoy it. I'll see you next time I do something. Maybe it'll be soon. I might change my process again. Seems to happen pretty regular. Thanks for watching. Go to my website if you want to find out more. RandyLPurcell.com.